This will probably be pretty quick. It's a simple concept, something that I don't think I've ever applied this, but I got to remember to apply it anyway. It's chapter 26 of the Enchiridion. It's about applying your own wisdom to yourself. So I think we've all been in a situation where, somebody will come to us with a problem and you're looking at it from the outside. You're not caught up in all the emotions they're caught up with. So you're able to see all these different angles and all these different sides of the scenario and be able to offer all this like objective advice or at least provide some feedback on maybe something that they can do to get through this. And it seems to come real easy for you. You're like, oh yeah, this is, something that they're mad about, or maybe their girlfriend or boyfriend is acting weird. And you're like, you can just see all the angles, you're not caught up in everything that they're caught up in. So you can give all this great advice, and you really help them get through this scenario. Maybe you're in this ongoing thing where somebody's like reaching out to you for help to get through a certain situation. Maybe a family member passed away, or it could be anything, but it seems like it's so easy for you to offer this information to somebody. But then when you look at it, when it happens to you, the same shit, and you're going through the same shit that they are, can you apply that wisdom to yourself? I mean, it's almost impossible. It's kind of weird. Like why can you apply all of that wisdom to somebody else, but then when you're going through the same shit, you can't turn and give yourself your own advice that you've given to other people that are going through the same shit that you are. And so what I think is happening, and I'm sure I've read this somewhere, I didn't come up with this on my own, but like when you're in an emotional state, your brain kind of shuts off different functions, so you're kind of focused on different things. I don't completely know how all of that stuff works, but I know that when you're experiencing fear or you're experiencing different things, your brain might redirect resources to focus on that one thing that's happening. So when you're going through something that's tough and it's creating a serious emotional response, it's much harder for you to come up with those same answers, even though you've come up with them before. So it's kind of interesting to think about. And I don't know how to apply it, honestly, because I don't think I've ever realistically sat down with myself and said, okay, you're going through this shit. What would you tell somebody if they were going through the exact same thing? I feel like if I do that, I've been aware of this for a long time, probably some years, but honestly, I don't think I've ever applied it to anything in my own life, but I would think that it would be, I think it would be really effective if you were to do that. So I'm going to try to use this. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I wish I had some examples on how it worked, but again, I don't think I've ever done it. I don't think I've ever sat down and done that for myself. So maybe give it a try. See if it works. I mean, it's got to work. This is thousands of year old wisdom, and people have regurgitated and changed it and turned it into memes and all this kind of shit. I've seen this before. It's not something new, but I want to try to do this. So next time I'm all stressed out about something, and most of the time it's like business or, the state of the world or whatever it is. I want to see if I can do that and see if I can take a step back and just imagine. Maybe it's something you can do through like visualization, like instead of thinking, what would I say to somebody if they were going through this problem? Maybe you could use this as a visualization technique. I guess we could talk a little bit about visualization. I haven't talked too much about it, but there's a lot to it. So, I mean, maybe that'll be a whole nother episode, but I'll give you sort of like the Cliff Notes version of how I understand it. And I think I've talked about it before, but anyway, it's like, if you have a certain future in mind, you can spend some time in a state of meditation where you're visualizing that future. And what I've been doing lately is visualizing. I have a facility in mind for Machine Studio. And when we get to that place where we have that facility, then I know a lot of other things in my life have fallen into place. It's kind of hard to explain, and then I also kind of picture what I look like, in terms of my physical condition. Cause I want to be at that time when I achieve that state, whatever it is, I want to be in a certain, physically, I want to be in a certain state, like I'm going to be older then. So I want to make sure I'm taking care of myself. So when I visualize, I think about that place. I think about myself in there. I interact with people. I try to make it as real as possible. And the idea with visualization is you're sort of creating the future that you want for yourself. So not to go too far down that rabbit hole, let's say you get into the practice of doing visualization every day. I'm trying to do that. I want to try to remember the next time I'm stressed out about something and that I need to kind of figure out whatever it is I'm going through. Maybe I'll take that 10-minute visualization session and visualize someone else coming to me with those problems that I'm having, that I need some answers for. And then I'm telling that person what I would do. Maybe that would be the answer. Maybe that's how you do it. That's one way to do it. So you can actually visualize and meditate on it, and visualize as if you're talking to somebody, a close friend of yours or your spouse or whoever it is that you maybe have the most experience with. I don't know, whatever would make it work for you. I'm going to try it. I think it would work. I honestly do, because I think what happens when you're talking to somebody, you're having a more objective view on what's happening. You can really see what's happening, but then when it's happening to you, it's more of a subjective kind of way of looking at it. So you're thinking, let's say you're having some financial stress. You're thinking subjectively like, oh, I'm going to be homeless. I'm going to be this. You're speculating on all these different things that are going to happen. But if it was happening to somebody else, you probably wouldn't speculate on all that stuff. You'd probably say like this great wisdom, like, you've had financial problems before. You've gotten through every single problem you've ever had. Why is this any different? Like all these kind of things. But you can't tell that stuff to yourself when you're dealing with it. And this probably could apply to probably anything you're going through. So I can't really think of anything else. I think it's good stuff. Epictetus was he's a fucking, I lost my train of thought. He's one of the most well-known Stoic philosophers, most quoted people in that whole thing. A lot of personal development shit has been spawned off of the things that he said. So I feel like it's really good stuff. So I'm going to try it. And I just wanted to pass it on to you. I also wrote something about it. If you want to check out, I've been writing, I made a commitment to write every day. So I've been writing these little, I don't know what you'd call them. I don't know if they're newsletters or articles or something like that. But if you want to check out any of that stuff, go to bus166.substack.com and you could check out the stuff there. And outside of that, if you like what we're doing, please share it. Other than that, I hope you all have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. All right.
Appreciate each and every one of you guys who are supporting the cause and continue to spread the love. And stay up.